Patient's head's going to be nerfed, and tarot is going to get a lot more difficult than it is already. For more news like this, stick around for This Week in Identity 5. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Identity 5, where you guys already know the rules. What I do is I talk about last week's news and everything that happened with last week. We talk about what's supposed to come this week, and we talk about some rumors and some leaks that have come out about possible things coming in the future. Beginning with what we had from last week, we had quite a lot of updates. As you saw last week, it was quite a long episode that we had. One of the biggest things that we had was the new Misty Villa that came out, the new lobby room, and it is a very beautiful room, but I still have not set foot in someone's room yet, so I'm interested in seeing what it is like. But we also have a new event that came out with the Misty Villa, where every day, even today, you can still get some extra pieces of special furniture for free for just logging in and kind of completing small little missions. At the moment, we've had rugs, we've had wall hangings and plates and things like that, so it's very interesting to see what we will be given in the next couple of days. You will also receive a song that will be able to be played if you have one of the record players. Connected to this big update with the new room, they also revamped the whole system of organizing and moving around your furniture in the room. Before, it was a bit clunky and there was only one axis that you could really move on, meaning that it was very difficult to place the different pieces of furniture in any room that you had. But now they've revamped it so that you can change multiple angles and also kind of move around the room, not exactly, but it makes it much easier to place furniture. This is obviously very important for this new big villa because it does have a lot of nooks and crannies and different sections to it that might make it so you want to be a little bit more perfect with your positioning. Over the weekend, we also had Chang's character day, well, technically the white guard and the black guard's character day, and this was fantastic where if you completed all the quests, you would either get the portrait from last year or you would get the new border that was given away for his character day as well. I hope you guys managed to do that in time. As predicted from last week's video, Postman and Patient got a small buff each. Patient now being able to use his grappling hook a little bit further. I've gone into more detail in last week's episode. Postman losing that cooldown thing when he peeks into one of his letters, and also his dog being buffed a little bit in its range. What you probably did notice as well is that Ada, the Psychologist, was available in the store. And what I must say is that I've played a little bit of Hunter over the past week, and I've seen way too many Adas. I've seen teams completely comprised of Psychologists, and I've seen teams of 2 Psychologists and 2 Patients, and man is it a pain. Psychologist is such a difficult character to get down very quickly, and Patient with his little interaction with her means that they can quickly play and run quickly towards each other, meaning it's very difficult to chase them. It's not as bad as the Naiad Apocalypse, but still, it's getting close to that, and there are tons of people playing her. I still have not played her, but I did unlock her the other day, so I'm still probably going to test her later on today in the stream. Along with her release in the store, we also got the B tier skin package for Patient and Psychologist with those cool, like, dark kind of gothic style clothes that they can wear, with Patient looking very dapper. And I believe that those skins should be coming out for fragments later on, possibly next week, but I'm not completely sure about that, so we'll have to see. There are rumors that it might not come out at all in fragments, but I'm pretty sure that NetEase has confirmed that it will. Not completely sure though. Along with all of these updates, we got the pre-selection feature that was added. I have not used it yet because I don't really play Survivor rank, so I'm not sure if anybody really uses this yet, and I think it's a useful thing and will help people out in general, but I, again, have not used that interface yet. And there have been tons and tons and tons of bug fixes. If you read through the page, you'll see that there are tons and tons of them, and there are way too many for you to read, and some of them are important, some of them are not important, but nothing that I thought that was notable enough for me to say it in this video. Okay, moving on to what we can expect from this week's update. We have the Perfumer's birthday, or character day technically, that comes out the 25th of August. This means if you participated in last year's character day for her, you will get the border. If you didn't, then you will receive the portrait. Of course, if you complete all the missions, you will also get some fragments along the way. Gravekeeper's A tier 1 skin has been kind of teased again and again and again, and I'm pretty sure it's coming out this week. I'm pretty sure that they've guaranteed that now, so that is interesting to see. I am looking forward to seeing this new skin in the game, and I want to see if there are any special effects, because I have actually stayed away from looking at the special effects that this character might have, or if it doesn't have any special effects at all. As with tradition, Psychologist and Patient will be available in rank duos, blackjack, crystal tarot mode, and also normal tarot. So it'll be interesting to see these two characters. I do think that the Psychologist is going to be a very, very powerful squire, especially with some type of composition with Sia. I'm really not looking forward to chasing a king that has a Psychologist as a backup, but we will see. On the topic of Psychologist, we should expect a slight Psychologist nerf, probably due to this Psychologist apocalypse that's kind of going on right now. And it's only a slight one. It won't affect most people in normal and ranked matches, but as long as you're not playing with multiple Adas. Now, for every Ada that is in the match, the empathizing ability will now be increased in how long it takes. If there are 2 Psychologists in the match, then it will go up to 10 seconds. If there are 3, it will go up to 20. If there are 4, then it will take up to 30 seconds to use the empathize ability. That means that it's going to be a real big deterrent for playing 4 Psychologists in one team. And I'm kind of glad about that because it is a real pain to deal with them. But I know that most people were doing it just because it was a lot of fun to do it, not because they really wanted to troll any hunters or anything like that. As for some possible things that we could be seeing coming out this week, we have some news for tarot because there are a lot of changes coming very soon. We have borrowed time and detention now being part of the game mode itself. Now, without having to take the persona trait of borrowed time or detention as a hunter, the game will actually activate it already when survivors complete 300% decoding. It will automatically activate and the hunter and the survivor from those teams will get that ability. The Raven that you get as a survivor to be able to send some of your coins over to another player, and also the blue stone that hunters get to be able to reveal the king will now go down in price, and it's quite a considerable price drop. It's going down from 300 all the way down to 100. So that is exciting to see, meaning that you'll be able to use them way more often, and also more importantly, you'll be able to use it much earlier in the match. As for some really big changes that we're going to be seeing in the game is they're going to introduce some more characters to the Crystal Ball game mode. Lucky Guy, Thief, and the Mind's Eye, and possibly more survivors will be coming in. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Lucky Guy. Maybe they're going to give him more than one item, or I don't really know what that means. Maybe they're just going to buff all of his items. It'll be very interesting to see. But on the hunter side, we're also getting some more hunters. We're going to get Soul Weaver, and I can already expect what we're going to see from Soul Weaver. I can imagine she's going to be able to shoot multiple webs out in front of her and maybe place multiple webs at the same time or get a faster speed boost. Naiad is also coming out in this game mode, and I really have no idea what they're going to do with her. And Guard 26. I was worrying about the day that Guard 26 would come to Tarot Crystal Ball mode, and I'm expecting that he's going to be one possibly more popular than Sculptor is already, because Sculptor is kind of broken in the game mode right now, so I'm pretty sure that his bombs are going to explode in a bigger radius, or faster, or deal more damage. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that Guard 26 is going to make Tarot Crystal Ball mode much more difficult for survivors, but we will see. Who knows? Some non-tarot news, we have Patient's head getting a nerf, and this is a very interesting one because his head, or people have been complaining about his head being too big that I didn't really pay much attention to, but apparently a lot of people did because people have been asking for it since his release, and yeah, his head is going to be shrank, so I don't really know what that's going to do or affect, but hey. Also, we have a change towards Sculptor as her hieroglyphic graveyard, the ability where she throws her chisel and you can see this kind of windy effect around in a circle around the area that she's watching, will now be slightly more visible to all players. It was sometimes a little bit difficult for people to notice when she was using it, so now I think they're making it way more obvious so that you can obviously get out of the way and try and dodge her statues before you get taken by surprise. They're also adding something that I think they should have added from the very beginning. Add a pet to all survivors button. Yep, is exactly what it sounds like. You can press a button and all the survivors you have will get a pet. The pet that you've selected at least. Now going to the talk in the manner section of the video where I respond to comments that you guys made on my last couple of videos. The first video is from Esmeralda Owo, who says, I play Granny's house when I'm angry on a losing streak in Identity 5. Yeah, I can understand that. I think when I get annoyed at Identity 5, I just want to stop playing. Usually I'll play a couple more matches expecting to be able to do a little bit better, but then I realize that I don't. And I can understand that you might want to go and play something else. Recently I've just been going over to Eternal Return, as I mentioned in my last video. Humble Potato says, I think they should add a new game mode or make ads on YouTube like Mobile Legends. I do think this is a good idea, and I do think that they need to market the game a little bit more, and if they did have more players, they would have more reason to be able to update the game and look after it on our server at least, but I'm not really sure that they will ever do that. Maybe they will if there's a big event coming up, maybe for the next anniversary that will be the 4th year, or possibly the 5th year anniversary if the game even lasts that long. But who knows, I don't think they really care too much about adverts here, because they do a lot of advertising in China, so that works for them, and that's where they get most of their money and players. Dashtronic says on the video where I gave away some ways that hunters can avoid flare guns and stuff like that, Dashtronic says, me as a coordinator main. Chuckle, I'm in danger. Yes, it was you. I was trying to prevent you from winning so often. You keep on winning too much. No more, no more. Hunters will not get flared anymore. I've taught them everything they need to know. Do you think that Patient's head was too big and that they really needed to nerf it? Or do you think that Psychologist's slight nerf might be a little bit too much and you really want to see 4 Psychologists in every match? Please tell me down in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, please give this video a like and subscribe if you'd like to get some news about Identity V every week, every Tuesday. Take care, guys. Bye bye.